So here we are with our evening bride model. This is Taylor. Taylor have freckles. She have pink in her cheeks area, chin area, a little bit of dark circles. So you always want to examine the skin before we even start. Now, at the same time, you want to check the texture of the skin so you know how to liquefy your foundation and what you need. Her skin is already prepped, it's already moisturized, and she's ready to go. To see that, just go to our prepping video and you will see step by step what we did. I already pre-mixed her foundation, so I already customized it. And again, keep an eye on our upcoming video for color theory and you will know how to customize the foundation. So first thing I'm going to start is by applying the foundation. Just apply it everywhere. Don't worry about blending right now. This is our evening bride. We need kind of a full coverage. Like I said, I like to see some of those freckles through because it's part of who she is. So I don't like to completely hide them. Now, if the customer does not like her freckles, then go ahead and give her a full coverage. So apply the foundation everywhere, and I'm using my very dense foundation brush so that I can stipple and give more of that coverage. Once I have the foundation in, just start by blending. And if you customize the foundation correctly, it should blend perfectly into her skin. You really don't need to go to her neck. And we always match the neck. You don't really want to put any product on the neck. So forehead goes always up and face goes always down. Make sure every single inch of her skin is covered. Make sure you pay attention to around the nostrils, next to the ear area. Now, if you're going very dark or you would like to go change completely the skin tone, you do want to go over the ear area. So once we apply the foundation, we are going to come and buff it. Buffing it, it's going to give it that sheer effect and almost like we used an airbrush. It brings back some of that shine and it thin your foundation a little bit. And if you go through what tools we used, you will know that it is this brush over here. Just don't put pressure, let the brush do its job. Circular movement all over to thin out our foundation. Once this is done, we're going to go ahead and contour. So making sure that I have the effect that I really need. Take your time. You never want to rush your bridal makeup. You always want to take your time. This is a makeup that is going to be photographed very closely and you don't want the camera to actually pick up anything that it shows wrong. And here you are. We can still see some of her freckles, but I neutralized the pink. I already applied it in my foundation so that I don't have to do many layers. Now all I need to do is come back and use a little bit of concealer corrector for under her eyes. And you only apply it on the area that you need to neutralize, not everywhere. And just dab, dab, dab. Make sure you blend it that way. Don't take it to areas that doesn't have the dark circles. Dab, dab, dab. And like I mentioned, I like to use a large concealer brush because this way I cover a larger area and I can blend it much faster. So after we use that, we're going to come back with a little bit of concealer. Just apply it in that inner area and a little bit in that outer area. So apply your products first. If you apply your products first, it actually will help using less product. So you save kind of on product that way. And then you come back and you go ahead and blend it. When you blend, do those long strokes so it goes into the foundation and it merges together. And this way you don't see where it starts, where it ends. And it works as a highlighter. Concealer are a highlighter. So it will brighten all this area for you. Go down, down, down. And can you look up for me? Make sure you go right under the eye area. Do not apply a lot of product, it will crease on you. So make sure you want just enough. Here we go. We're going to move into using a little bit of contouring product now. So with this smaller brush, I'm going to take very little contour, and it's not one contour fit all. Examine the face. It's creating an optical illusion. We want to create shadowing and minimize certain area in the face so we can enhance other area. So you start with the forehead, you examine it and you decide, does she have a large forehead? Does she have a wide forehead? And if she doesn't, just skip it. You don't have to do it. I'm going to just do just a little bit right in the middle section. And apply always the product first. Then you move into the temple area and you check and see if she needs to have it minimized. And actually she does not. She have a very narrow temple. But everybody like high cheekbones. Always remember, do not put the contour on the bone because then you minimize it. You need to apply it under the bone. So this is the end of the ear, and the area is coming from here all the way under the cheekbone where her teeth are. So I'm going to take a little bit of that product and put it right on that area. You don't want to do over contour for your bride because you will be able to see those lines. It doesn't photograph nicely. If you can see the contour, that means you overdid it. Now we're going to move into the jawline area, and you want to decide if you want to a little bit round up or minimize the jawline. Just going to do just a tiny bit, just in that corner right in here. And obviously we're going to do this side also. And last, it's going to move into chin, which actually I love it. I'm not going to touch it. And then her nose. Taylor's nose is very tiny. She really doesn't need any contouring for it, but just for a little bit of a shadowing, just on the tip right in here, make sure they are very straight. If you make it crooked, it's going to look crooked. And now I'm going to start blending. So do not put pressure, very lightly, just blur all those lines. Forehead goes up into the hairline. The cheekbones, you want to go up. Just create a gradient so that it starts dark and then it goes lighter. Keep doing it until that line is blurry. And then the jawline goes down. Again, do not go over the other area. Just keep it where it is. Just make sure you cannot see that straight line. It has to be just a shadow. And just by the way, the color of contouring have to be that taupey shade or almost gray shade. Do not use a bronzer as a contour because it has red and it's not going to create a shadow effect. Go down. And now I'm ready to apply a little bit of cream blush on her. So just a hint of cream blush. She already have pink in her cheeks, so if I put too much, what's going to happen, it's going to turn her very red. So just a little bit to give her that natural glow. And that's it. I'm taking it a little bit on top of her bridge just to give her that natural effect. And now we're ready to set up her foundation and contouring. So remember, we're using a colorless powder. Make sure you use your big brush for that. And I have one little trick. When you are doing your powder, make sure you fill it in. And what you want to do is knock the powder into the brush and then come and roll everywhere. Don't start by blending. What's going to happen is she's going to be under a cloud of powder. So once I have it everywhere, you're going to buff. Buffing will remove any excess powder. There is nothing in makeup that we call baking. Baking is literally just applying a very thick layer of powder, and literally when you come to blend it, what's going to happen is you're just going to waste a lot of product, because whatever the skin is going to absorb and stick to it, that's all what you're going to need. So there is no need to do a thick layer. And obviously we have to set up the concealer as well. So before we set, look up, make sure that the concealer is not creasing into her line. Take a little bit of powder and just roll under her eyes. So you want a brush that fits nicely and that is very fluffy. Again, buff. And now we are ready to move to our next step, which will be actually eyes.